Hello, I am Mr. Bismarck, and this is Gravity Team Tactics Muse Front, Part 2, also known as How to Move About and Shoot Things, which I'm fairly sure is a Guy Ritchie movie starring Jason Statham. Moving straight on, so this doesn't turn into another 50-minute video. What I've got here is a custom battle that I've set up with some very select units, designed to show a couple concepts as we go along here. In the quick battle, I have 2 points that I have to capture. A secondary point called Gypsum, and a primary point called Amethyst, which are down here. The mission is set up so that capture of Amethyst pretty much guarantees victory. The AI knows this, but despite that I expect most of the AI forces to be in here, because the AI won't slavishly tie itself to the point if all the cover is over here. They have a couple infantry units, one of which I expect will probably have an anti-tank gun attached to it, which will probably do some work considering the position of my forces over here. And they have a couple Marder anti-tank units too. Now, let's have a look at my forces. Let's do it this way. Okay. So I have a trio of KV-1 tanks, a trio of T-34s, and some infantry here and over here, all of which is going to move off this way. Now I've set the tanks up in slightly different lineups here. Whenever you pick a unit, the first tank, or the first unit for infantry here, the little flag, the first tank in a tank unit is the commander. You will actually see there it says heavy tank CMD, and if I hover over the first of the T-34s it will say medium tank CMD. And the tanks are lined up here with, there's a small gap between the middle tank and the right tank, and a larger gap between the middle tank and the left tank here, and they're also lined up slightly different in that I have the command tank and the KV-1s in the middle here. You can see I've picked only the command tank, and it is highlighted in pink. The other tanks are in white. And when I pick the T-34, I've actually put the T-34 command tank on the right. Not for any tactical gain here, but just to show you how the command structure works. So one of the things you can do up here is turn on command hierarchy, and it will then display arrows showing you how the commands are getting around your units. So we have arrows over here and here. Now you can see for the KVs at the front here, the messages are going out from the center tank over to the right and to the left, and from the T-34 they're coming out of the tank and going left to its 2 subordinates. Turns out that this tank is in range enough for the radio link to work. If it was further away, then what you might see is an arrow coming out of the command tank into this middle tank, then a pause, and then an arrow coming out of the middle tank to this tank. If it was out of range of the command tank, then the messages would actually pass through this guy right here. You can see in my infantry here we have arrows going out, and he can't talk to everyone at once. The commander doesn't have a severe. It's not just a circle where everyone inside it is considered to be in range and they all get messages instantaneously. You can see he's talking to these units here, and then he commands these ones. So if you give an order to suddenly change position or to attack, these guys on the right are going to get the order first, and this is the last unit in the command chain, it seems. You should see the same thing over here. Orders going out. So even if you cluster units around the commander, they're not instantly getting messages. There still is a need for the commander to tell everyone what's going on, and right now he's doing it by wire communications, which is great. But as soon as we move off, speaker's got to make sure it is wires. Yep, wires. As soon as we move off, that's going to change to voice commands, which gives him about a 50-meter command range, so he may have to shout orders here, and these people may have to shout over here. Alternatively, if they get too spread out, he may have to send a runner, which can take a couple minutes then to get orders across, which makes coordinating attacks just crazy hard. You can also see different colours as well. These the KVs up here actually have the better system because all of them are using full duplex radio. So even the subordinate tanks here, this guy on the right here has a full duplex. Duplex means two-way, and full duplex means you can talk over the top of each other like a telephone. Sometimes you'll see half duplex, which is kind of like a walkie-talkie. If someone's holding down the transmit button, they're not going to hear anything you say. Back here in the T-34s, these guys have got full duplex at the command tank, but the others just have a radio link. They don't have a method for talking back necessarily. But even so, the T-34s have green arrows, even though they have less of a radio link, because although it's lower tech, it's better quality. We are going to start by giving our KVs orders to go up here and cross the road up here. We're going to send our T-34s across the road shallow and up here. We will send the infantrymen probably up here behind the T-34s and into this area. The other infantry unit will come up here into this cover. And then we'll see what happens. By that point I expect to have made contact. Now back here we also have an artillery spotter. You can see over on the right here I have some a couple guns. I think they're 152 millimeters. Those are going to make a mess. And the way that we get them to shoot is, first of all, you have to make sure he has a link. It says link lost, so it's possible, although it does say laying wire link, it's possible that I can call in artillery and they won't fire, which would be annoying. You just have to hope he hurries up and lays the wire. What's going on here? Telephone cable. Do your job. Alright. But let's have a look at this anyway. So, when you right click on any of these like this, it will move the map to them and you can see the circles. Now, because this is howitzers essentially off map, you only get high explosives. If these were the mortars, the 120mm mortars, you would get smoke and also white phosphorus, which is really nasty. And if they were the 76mm guns, you'd get high explosive and smoke, and also I think marking smoke too. The only thing we have here is high explosive, but that will do the job just fine. Okay, so that's this one. So the way you make it work is, if the cable's in place, you can actually give a message. Pick the one you want. In this instance, this, click on it with the right button, and it turns it into a flag, and then you drag the flag where you want it. So I think the Marder, well, I think there's going to be infantry all over here, so let's drag that in there. Let's pick a second one. This. Oops. Haha. Okay, let's try that again. Alright. Click. Right there. Okay. Now we'll pick this one. And we will put them. Okay, I expect the Marders will probably be back here somewhere. I noticed there's some tank pits. I expect this to be infantry up here, so I'm going to drop, providing it actually works, I'm going to drop some explosive right there. And then for the final one, let's put them in the front here like this. See if we can wake up the people that are in the trench. Alright, KVs. Okay, still in the initial orders phase, so the clock isn't counting down or anything, and we are going to give them the order, all of them, to move up here. The way that you do that is you just have the units you want to control selected, and you right click. It brings up this wheel which has different movement options on it. You can highlight any one and it will give you some information on them. So this is the attack. Early on, here's move fast. Move fast is blue. Basically, if an order is blue, it means that it's not going to be carried out perfectly. So move fast is not something really that KV1s can do. Assault, you can see it says move behind vehicles. So if you have tanks and infantry selected, then the assault command would be black, I believe, because then you're asking the infantry to move behind the vehicles. There is no infantry selected, so it says not sure what to do with this one. They will still carry it out. They will still assault. It says it's a dense line, so whereas attack is a spread line. So what would happen is the KVs would assault, they would move into a dense line and move forwards without the infantry. I'm going to give them a move command, and something else that's fun from here, if we turn off the command hierarchy for a minute, is you can pick paths and orders. You can pick paths, and what that's going to do is give you a nice thick line that essentially says this is where this platoon of tanks is going. So even though the tanks are spread out, this one essentially finds the middle of the platoon and says, okay, this is where they're going. Now if you turn on paths and orders instead, then when I actually start time, let's do that now, you can see there's a line from each tank as well. And what you'll also see is when they find a target, you'll get a brown line comes out of the tank to the target. It doesn't mean they're necessarily going to engage it, it just means they've seen it and they're focusing on it. Now what you notice, I'm going to stay up here because when I zoom in, the volume of the tanks overwhelms my microphone. What you'll notice is, because I've given them a move command, which says normal column, the lead tank will move up and these other two tanks will fill in behind and they'll make one column to move to target. If I turn on the command hierarchy again, you can see the arrows moving and you can see him ordering each tank. So here the leader orders to him and then the arrow goes here to him. Okay, that's good. Now let's give the T-34 some orders to move over here. So what we're going to do is give them an order to move here. Oh, you can actually see as well, look. Because this is the commander for the T-34, he's ordering him, and then he sends the order over here to him. Oh, no. This is going to show you how clever the AI is, because I've given him an instruction that makes him fall in behind him. So he's currently driving through the infantry, and the infantry will actually move out of the way. They don't. Had to zoom in to make sure that that was accurate. They do actually move out of the way. They won't frequently be run over by their own troops. So what we're going to do up here is we're going to pick the last of the KVs, this guy right here. On his own, you can see the arrow goes to him, and then sometime later to him, and we're going to give him a new move command just after his arrow shows up. There we go. So you can see there's the move command gone in, but he hasn't followed it yet because the arrow only just hit him, so now his line is separate. Now he's moving over here. And the same will happen if we give them another move command as a complete unit. Wait for the arrow to hit him. There we go. So he's still going this way, and here comes the command, and now he's changed. He's received his orders to move. Okay, so let's get these guys going. Wrong one. Let's get these guys going up here. Give them a move. You see exactly the same thing. Each of the units moving forwards, and we'll give these guys an order to move here, and then move on the target. So, oh, hello. What's this? Wire laid? Wire link established. Bang. That's the ticket. Let's have a look at this now. There we go. Link established. So my artillery spotter can now give the artillery commands. So hopefully we'll see these start ticking down. We may have to reposition them again to give them another order. Okay. High explosive. Immediate action. Let's say here, and here, and here. Oops. Alright. Start firing, damn you. Come on. Ooh. Just fire every shell you've got, that would be nasty. Alright. we go. Firing. 704. Rounds are coming. Alright. Hopefully that makes a mess. It would be funny if it just wrecked everything. Okay, these guys. Right. Let's give them a movement order, and then we'll do the thing that you can do in every single type game of this type, which is you hold the shift key down and you click on a new direction, and I'm going to give them a recon order which will put them in one line, and it says cancel order. Basically that means they're going to move fast towards the area you click on, but if they encounter any resistance they'll cancel the order too. Please tell me that's not my artillery missing by that much. That would be terrible. Maybe I'll take out my own KVs. Okay, so the T-34s are in position. I'm going to give them a move order to go across here, which is one column, and then I'll change it to a recon order, which is, whoops, which I forgot to do with the mouse button held down. With the shift button held down to make it a chain, sorry. I'm going to give them a recon, so they'll move over here in one column, and then they'll change it into one line to move towards the target. Okay, 152s. Please don't hit my KVs. I'm going to move on gypsum with my KVs as a recon. They're going to spread out. See them spreading out there. Alright, so a few other things to talk about. You can cancel their orders straight away, hitting this button. You can build in a delay. I don't really use this because I guess the micro doesn't get too crazy in this game. Certainly when you're using a small amount of units like this, and some of the bigger battles, it can get pretty nuts trying to coordinate everything. So you can build in delays for orders. Obviously tanks move faster. Hello, do we have smoke over there? On Amethyst? We do. Tanks move faster, unless they're KVs, move faster than infantry. So you can build delays into orders so that everyone moves off at the same time. You can tell them to take defensive. Then there is over here. So take defensive is just kind of form a defensive formation. And stay tight. Hello. Oh, and okay, so here's the first indicator that we've spotted someone. Our forces have spotted. Wow, that fire is really wild. Our forces have spotted enemies moving. So it's a yellow tank. That probably means we can see it, and obviously it's going to be a Marder because I didn't give them any tanks. Now, basically, what that means is they saw something. They can't see it anymore. They know there was a tank in here. Basically, if that tank was driving and they saw it here, you'd get this little pip here that says, we saw it. But by the time it appears again, it could be over here. If there was a ridge, it could hide behind the ridge and pop up over here. At which point this would immediately go, boop, oh no, it's over there. So that's going to be a Marder, which has got a pretty big gun on it that will probably go through the KVs. So, let's say we could see it. Right now, you can tell that my guys can't see it, can't shoot at it, because there's no brown lines. As soon as they can see it, you get these kind of browning orange lines peel off of every tank that can hit it. Then they don't override the movement commands or anything. The movement will stay in place unless they think they should cancel it because they're on a recon command. But you'll see orange lines come off of the tanks and stick to the target. And that means this is what we're targeting. It doesn't necessarily mean that's what they're shooting at. It just means that we can see it, we can target it, and we are focusing here. Which brings me to this crosshair, which you can use to pick a primary target. So if there was like a Marder and an anti-tank gun, or let's say this is a Valentine tank, which it's a tank, so it'll probably draw the focus of the other tanks, but it has a pretty small gun, and let's say there was a Pack 40 anti-tank gun here, you could tell, highlight all the tanks and tell them to highlight to focus on the Pack anti-tank gun right here, using this button. So let's start time again, see if we can see. Oh, this is bad because it can see us and we can't see it, and it will make a mess of us. change the order to attack, because otherwise they might stop when they come under fire. And these guys, there we go. So there's the brown line I talked about. This tank is the first one to spot the target, which I'm going to presume is a Marder. Yep, there it is. Finest Czechoslovakian tank chassis. I think the chassis is from the P38T, and then they put an enormous gun on it. Unlike the Panzer IV F2, you don't have to worry about the recoil hitting the back of the turret, because there isn't a turret. Who needs turrets? It's just a sheet of metal, very thin metal too. Okay. So now I know that these people can see it. What I'll do is highlight all my T-34s, click on this, or press the letter T, and then drag a box around the target, and you'll see that an X appears on it. That means that those guys are focusing on this. So we should start to see some return fire. Wow! There's the anti-tank gun. So let's get our KVs. See if they can focus. No, they can't focus because they can't see it. But we now have two T-34s. You can see the Marder. We really need to kill it. Oh. Whoa, something bounced off the side. There isn't much of a side to bounce off of there. And the KV-34s have seen the anti-tank gun, so now, with the KV-34s highlighted, I can say, okay, shoot at them. It would be super if my 152mm artillery would wake up and stop dropping rounds over here. Okay. So the KVs are engaging with machine guns. Oh, there's probably fire. Yeah, some of the grass has been set on fire. Oh dear, I lost the tank already. Yeah. Now the KVs is dead. And it's the command tank, of course. He's backing out. He's backing out. I want you guys not to focus on the anti-tank gun in the Marder. There we go. Hit. Dude. Okay, let's give them an attack. Okay, so it looks like he's bugging out. Yep, he's gone. And they think there might be a second one dug in here, but they have killed the anti-tank. And it looks like they've wrecked it, which is good, because if you just kill the crew, other people can come back to it and pick it up again. So let's stop here and have a look at our dead tank. Yeah, that's probably dead. Wow, and it's still rolling as well. Looks like it got hit. Some of the crew got out, so you might want to, certainly in the campaign game, you probably want to highlight the crew and give them a message to get out of there. So I'm going to use this one. This is covert move. It might not actually be the, well, yeah, it'll be the best one. So I'm asking them to move covertly to here. This can be used in attack as well, and they will just try and find a method of getting here that doesn't involve being seen by the enemy. I bet you if I start time again, this tank is still rolling. No, it's not still rolling it. Rolled a little bit, you can see the grass is on fire behind it, but then stopped. So we did capture Gypsum, and the KVs are still rolling, and everyone's claiming they can still see a tank here. I think that was secondary explosion and not my it's machine gun fire coming in. Okay, so let's give these guys a shift on. You don't want them to move fast too far, move fast, simply because if they get tired, that would be bad. T-34s. Let's attack into here now. And these guys can come down here. Fast. I want my KV-1s. That's a really weird noise. I think it's supposed to be a fly. It sounds like there's a drone up here. Aha! It looks like the T-34's knocked out the Marder. Yep. It tried to reverse out of trouble. And that is pretty messy. But I believe the second Marder is in here somewhere. What the hell? Is that my shelling ridiculously in the target? Okay. So now my tanks have picked up infantry. What I should actually do is turn the KV-1s down here to I have to remember to zoom out, otherwise you can't hear me. I should probably move my KV-1s down here onto Amethyst to make sure I control the point. Wow. Machine gun fire going into my infantry now. So I'm going to move them like here. So I'm going to move my KV-1s. Oh, hello. There's another tank back here. So you can see there for a little while my guys didn't magically know it was dead. They continued to engage it after it died. There's clearly infantry here as well because they're throwing out smoke canisters. It looks like there's infantry on the point. So this confuses me. I don't know what this... Oh, this is fading out now. Because I don't know what that could be. Okay, let's get my KV-1s to... That's probably a bit close. Let's get them to assault, to attack here around the smoke. T-34s, I really don't want to push them in too much because the Germans' infantry can take them out. But you guys need to get a move on and stop. Now you can put a defense command on an objective, and what will happen then is your units that you've selected will move in bounds and cover each other, so it's slow but safe. The defense, you can just give them a defense command where they are and they will settle down and try and find a way of protecting their current position. You can give a defense command to an objective too. Hello. Everyone's found someone they don't like. Alright, and you guys... Yeah, I'm actually going to turn stuff off now. I think we covered all of that. Simply so I can zoom in. Look, the Germans have offered a ceasefire right here. I'm going to zoom in. Let's see what we can see. Actually, let's do this. Let's see if we can order some more artillery. Yes. I don't remember how to make a fire. Fire! Preparing. Now I have to be careful that the rounds don't come in after my men get there. We've seen that there's pretty inaccurate stuff going on. Okay, I'm going to zoom in, even though you won't be able to hear me. Even though I turned the volume down, so it shouldn't be too bad. Oh, here we go. Dude, what the hell? So the ranging round landed right behind my own head. Let's hope they sort that out. Secondary explosions from the second marder. There we go. Right, Q. Let's turn. So, there. Now it's just a battlefield. And this stuff at the end of the mission, where you've practically won, is just... I love this stuff. Kind of crazy nonsense that's happening. What do we see over here? There's no one there. You're just machine gunning the grass to pieces. Well, that was closer than your previous efforts. Okay guys, KVs, let's take Amethyst, let's kill this machine gunner. There he is. I mean, that's really not funny in real life, but holy crap. Achtung Panzer, and then there's a German using a Russian machine gun, PPSH, submachine gun. We captured enemies. Ah, they're surrendering to the KVs. Good job. Good job, KVs. He's surrendering and these guys are not. Right there. What are you shooting at? Someone throwing anti-tank grenades. There we go, we captured the point. Oh, enemy retreats from battlefield. Maybe that's what they were shooting at over here. Dude, what is happening? There's a lot of stuff exploding against the side of this tank. We still haven't captured the point. The tanks are in way too close. This is terrible general shooting on my part here. Nope. Yeah, great shot. Thanks a lot. Yeah, great. That's nowhere near where I wanted you to shoot. This, for all I know, was killed by my own men. My own artillery. Captured Amethyst. More secondary explosions from the Marder. wandering around with his hands up. Holy cow. Yeah, there's smoke. That must mean there are still Germans in the trenches here. Might lose another KV to sticky bombs or mines or something. Back into screenshot mode again. Not sure how much you're learning watching this, but it's fun! Go KVs, go! Yes, surely this haystack will protect us. Oh dear. Victory! Awesome. So I'm not sure how much you learned from the last 7 or 8 minutes of that battle there, but I had a good time, and that's what counts. And there is such a good time hiding in this game behind a UI that isn't as complicated as it first seems, especially because although you can control individual units, that can actually act as a detriment, as you've seen, because of the way that the C2 works here. You may lose control over your troops if you try and give them too many orders and spread them out too much and micromanage them too much. And you can just put the units down and pick the entire unit and say, attack over here, and use a real broad brush, let the AI work out little wrinkles about what your orders mean, and sit back and watch something awesome happen. It's a great game. Give it a try, and I hope this has been useful. Thank you very much.